Welcome to Round Guy Radio. Today's episode is brought to you by the Packwood Locker of Packwood, Iowa, Henshaw Trailer Sales of Richland, Iowa, and Smithburg Auto of Fairfield, Iowa. We have Coach Wilson of the Fort Madison Bloodhounds on, who just got the playoff pairings out. Welcome to the program, Coach.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, tell our listeners who you drew with them in the playoffs.
Yeah, we've got a familiar foe with Lee County rival Keokuk in the first round, and that'll be at their place on Monday at 7 o'clock.
All right, briefly, we got another game with Atumwa. You know, it's not going to help you one way or another in the seedings, but what can you get out of this game with Atumwa to prepare you for this other game with Keokuk?
Well, I think something, we were really focused on with Tum wasn't to be defense. We gave up 89 points with Keokuk on Friday. We also know that defense is going to be a big thing for us over the next week, and we need to not give up 89 points to Keokuk on Monday to give us a chance. So, we'll be on the road. It'll be over at Atumwa in their new high school gym, but just make sure everybody's healthy, get some fine-tuning in, and last competition before we get to essentially March Madness atmosphere.
All right. Well, the last time you did play Keokuk, Nolan Guzman scored over 50 points. How many points did he get?
51.
51 points. Is there a matchup or something that's working out for him where, he must have seen a lot of openings and a lot of defenses that he could exploit in that game. Why is this such a good matchup for him?
Well, I think Nolan's just a kid that goes and pushes tempo and has opportunities to do some different things. He gets to the basket really well. He can shoot the pull-up jumper. If he's open, he'll knock down the three and things. So, it's not that Keokuk's just a good matchup for him. It's just that he knows it's that time of the year. Like the other night, it was senior night. We didn't have Darius Foy in the lineup. And his team needed him to go to work and do some things, and it just ended up being a special night for him. So, he'll be excited, he'll be hungry, he'll be determined, and be a man on a mission on Monday night, I'm sure, down in Keokuk. So, it's a conference rival, it's a Lee County rival, it's a Fort Madison Keokuk, red versus purple type thing. The first time we went down to their place, he didn't play very well. We didn't play very well, and it was ugly. So, but at the same time, we're a much different team at this point than what we were back then. So, hopefully, we're just ready to play, and we can handle the big spotlight of the postseason.
Well, outside of Nolan, who else do you think is going to be a key, and who needs to step up besides Nolan Guzman on the starting lineup there that can be a different maker here?
Well, hopefully, we'll have Darius Foy on Monday. He's 6'9", matches up well with Clark, averages 10 points, 10 rebounds, and, again, we had a 10-point game with him at our place Friday, and we didn't have him that night. So, we'll need Darius to be out of foul trouble and be present and be a force on the inside for us. Here recently, Lucas Helmick's played really, really well. He's knocked down threes. He's attacked the basket. He's crashed the rebounds, done some things like that. And then, we've got our guys that just play really good defense, pressure the ball well. Freshman Jonah Tackett and sophomore Aurelio Wakindi. Those two lead us defensively. And they get things started defensively by ball pressure and just being active on the defensive end. So, Zeke Groves has also been starting for us here this season. And, Zeke is capable of knocking down some shots and doing some things from the three-point line and spreading the defenses out. So, just a little bit of everything from all those guys, and hopefully we'll have a good night.
Well, the playoffs can be a mixed bag. Would you prefer to be playing a team you hadn't played and didn't know much about, or would you rather be playing a team that you played going into your third game in a row, or third game this season?
It's a good question. We know what Keokuk's going to be. We know what we have to do to win and things like that. So it's nice to have that. But, you're also not opposed to go playing new people, new opponents. With the world of huddle and video today, we can learn a lot about any opponent in a quick amount of time by watching them and getting some reports and talking to other coaches and things. So, I would say, either us or Keokuk could be in uncharted territory next or on Thursday. Winner would take on Centerpoint Urbana or Grinnell, with a couple days to prepare. But, I don't know. I think the one thing about playing Keokuk again or someone locally for the third time is you will have some crowd support and have a good crowd support and attendance and some energy behind you. Whereas if you're going on the road a couple hours away to a foreign opponent, you might not have that following, and things might be a lot different from that aspect.
Well, I'm told this is the real rivalry for Fort Madison. Keokuk is the number one rivalry matchup, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say that. That's it's our conference, right? We play them twice a year, every year, and things like that. So yeah, this is probably our biggest rival in basketball.
Well, what does Keokuk do so well? I think they're undefeated in the SEC anyway, or maybe they have one loss. I can't remember.
Uh, yeah, Keokuk, they're big, and they play hard. Again, Jackson Clark is a 3-year varsity player, breaking scoring records and rebounding records down there at Keokuk, and going to go on and probably play some sort of Division One. So we've got to limit him some way, shape, or form. The other night he shot 17 to 24 from the floor, and really just we didn't have an answer for him. And then Chase Smith, the senior guard, he scored at will. We left him open 3 or 4 straight times in transition, just wide open. He scored 23 points, shooting 11 of 13 from the field, and just got a lot of baskets around the rim. And then Jalen Clark, Jackson's little brother, he scored 11 points. So those three are the big three scorers for them that we've just got to figure out a way to contain and hold them down. They got 8 points out of point guard Antonio Crockett, 9 out of Kyler Beelman. Beelman also had 10 assists, so they've got some guys that can do some different things, but they're a young team just like we are. It's going to be a lot of our guys' first time or first big postseason game. So, the advantage that Keokuk's going to have, they're playing at home and we're going to be on the road in a hostile environment. So, we just got to be ready to play, and hopefully our guys can execute a game plan and, just play for 32 minutes of
Well, we're talking to Coach Wilson of the Fort Madison Bloodhounds, who's going to bring a all-round guy team player and an all-round guy freshman to this team to battle an all-round guy center over there, Action Jackson Clark. It's going to be real exciting. They you may have given up 89 points, but you put 79 points, I believe, up yourself, and that's quite a bit of points. And the offense is rolling, and you got your team playing really well down the stretch here, and hopefully you'll get a win against Atumwa and create a little bit more momentum going into this game. Thanks for taking some time to be with us. Was there anything you want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to?
No, I think everything's good. Like I said, yeah, we should go to Atumwa Thursday, hopefully end the season and the regular season with a win, and then stay healthy and, see what we can do on the postseason.
Well, it's all crunch time from here on out, everybody. It's do or die time. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.